So I've been wanting to do a sort of end of the year summary recap kind of thing, but it would have to be more of a 2-year recap, because really what defined this year for me was the aftermath of what happened last year. And aside from my own life drama, internet space, dirty laundry, kind of toxic online experience, there's the dissolution of the NJP, National Justice Party, and the TRS radio network. Certainly seems like they're gone. And I'm just watching these guys, airing their grievances, bringing their dirty laundry to the forefront. Sometimes, in the case of Sven, who I had massive respect for, doing so drunkenly. It's a lot of grown men older than me behaving like teenagers, you could say. And just like below them, like real toxic in name calling and scapegoating and stuff like that. I really don't have an audience. I enjoyed an audience probably at the peak was 2021, and that is for my my cartoons, which is what I do primarily. And what had happened last year, which is really what happened this year, but what happened this year was the video of the attack or event that happened to me in Gibson City, Illinois, went viral, as in just 1.6 million views, and so I've sort of attracted a audience that has all but dwindled by now, and I don't care. Of people, normies mostly, just regular, people from all over the country who had been shared the video and saw it and saw the shit show that it was. And I intend this to be sort of a long-form, cozy chat. I'll speak candidly about certain things that I have gone over already before, but, add more details, kind of what I've been just going through. I was getting over a very toxic relationship. But before I get into that, this could be a commentary sort of on online spaces and just the toxicity that you run into on the internet generally, and just how much people love drama. I haven't been talking to many people, whereas last year when I was really going through the toxic relationship and the relentless just fighting with my toxic ex, who I'll just refer to as my ex from now on, I was talking to several people at that time, and I was just really just confiding in them, telling them everything. And those people, I'm sure, now have taken to a Telegram chat room and have betrayed me and stabbed me in the back, as with my best friend Jacob, who had moved to Illinois in the first place on his invite, to be his roommate and everything. And he's kind of always just like this self-important
Hello, Moto.
okay and I'm gonna try not to put anybody down, because I think that's the toxicity that's the whole issue, is you bad, me bad. Like, we're not any of us bad. We're going through something here, on this planet. Whatever, everybody's going through something. And I try to drive lessons from everything that I experienced when things were really bad in Gibson City, and like I was trying to keep my friendship with Dahmer while also breaking up with her and, managing this insane person who turned out to have lied about everything that she had got me attracted to her for. When I was telling her, I said stuff like, I manifested this, I brought this on myself, and all she would do is just start, very arrogantly judging me from a place of higher position, as if she has the right to, or, she's emotionally mature herself, which she has very clearly shown that she is not. And, this is a candid, I don't know, this is a candid tell-all of everything that I have. So flying monkeys for her, and just drama, people that I've attracted from the thing. I've kind of just not been, I think, interesting. The next big question unanswered with the video that went viral was the open-ended accusation at the end by my Gollum-esque attacker Alyssa, was that her accusation of you fucked a 17-year-old. So that was the open end. That's the cliffhanger that it ended on, that Dahmer saw an opportunity to pick up from there. I certainly believed that she was 17 when I was talking to Dahmer and trying to get away from her in those times. I didn't do anything as a groom her, even though I used that word. I, in a sense, I told her about the world and what I wanted, and she said basically just she consented to all of it. And since I've learned a lot about narcissistic relationships and stuff like that, but that's not what I'm going to get into. She lied, and it doesn't matter, people who want to think that have already passed judgment on me and nothing will change their mind, because that's the camp that they're on, whether they're aligned with, other exes of mine who I have also met online, like P. These people, you meet them and they're not how they present themselves to be, but it seems as though now it's like, well, shit, this has happened to me several times now, and it's almost as if, like, how can I argue that it's not me, or it's not what it appears to be. And that's why people like Jacob, who saw the situation, I know now that he was contacted by Dahmer, and one big tell-all was he's the only one that's ever called me Mediterranean. That was pretty unique to him. I've never been called a Mediterranean before. I'm half Italian and half German. And then all of a sudden Dahmer's calling me a Mediterranean, and around the time that she was doing her obsessive research on me, I'm obsessed, and that's not projection. That was sarcasm, by the way. She was obsessively researching me. And then I'm obsessed with my reputation. It's like, anyways, so when she was doing her OPSEC on me, she found up, she dug up all this stuff from my past, and it kind of points to all these allegations. Like when I tried to rent my childhood home and I chose the wrong people, they accused me of violence and being an abusive landlord and stuff. So that's an easy accusation to make if you're doing a grift. And then there's not really anything else up until the attack on me in Gibson City, those two girls. And then my ex, was plotting and planning her sort of blackmail the entire time. It was a toxic relationship throughout. But then when that happened, she saw the power that those two girls wielded, and she just threatened to do the same thing. She just started screaming like they had done, and started accusing me of violence, telling people about violence, told Dahmer about violence. And what you learn about these people is that they'll make up with you if you're just fed up. Once you get to the point of being fed up, they start sort of love bombing you again and telling you what you want to hear and say that they're going to be different this time, and since the trauma bond is really hard to break, you give them another chance, and then another chance, and then another chance, and then by that time, all this toxic abuse narrative stuff is out there, and there's no matter how many times you post the screenshot of her saying that she just wanted to destroy my relationship with Dahmer, it sticks. It stays. Dahmer has those screenshots, and she's not going to hear anything to the contrary because she's made up her mind, and she does drama now, as so many other people do on the internet. And it's power to have something like that to destroy somebody with. So anyway, back to the viral video. People were super interested in the viral video because they were like, what the F did I just see? Because it is crazy. I didn't make those girls act like that. They just decided to, and they've gotten away with it before because they're friends with that cop, and so on. They're just trashy people in a trashy part of the world, that being Illinois, where there's not so much to do except for to get drunk, have fights, and do meth, apparently. Or if you're a cop, just go after, impoverished white people for arrests. And that's what Cox did, and that's what Rosendahl did, the chief of police. And so people, when they saw that video, they're like, they wanted to know how that was possible. I wanted to know how that was possible too, because when I was recording the video, I was like, Jesus, holy shit, like, why, if you're going to act like this on video, what else are you capable of doing? And it made my job, what I thought, like, super easy. Like, there's no way, like, this is outrageous behavior that I've never seen before, absolutely insane, so that's just going to get thrown out. In any sane world, a judge or, the cop who I explained everything to on the car ride to the jail, later it was all in his police report, like, skewed, and he changed it around. And so, in any sane world, this just gets thrown out, like, this isn't taken seriously. But then it was. And then it was again, and then it kept being taken seriously. And then I finally got the police report. They didn't want to hand it over to me. So then I got it, I read it, I read their statements, which didn't even match up with the other one. And then the police statement itself, I made a video of all this stuff. It doesn't, but suffice to say, people went down and they read everything that I had and were convinced, they were already convinced by the video that I was attacked. I mean, I'm on video getting punched in the face. Of course, then the journalist for the newspaper of record, Will Brumleve, over at the Ford Chronicler, he just reiterates the police report. The video just shows the two girls knocking the phone out of his hands. When he contacted me, he was like, I'm an investigative reporter. It was immediately after the apartment building of Alyssa Goff burnt down, where they cooking meth in there. What the hell? And she lost her dog, so she got all this, like, sympathy, and she was on the news, like, crawling out of the window of her apartment and stuff. And so I wrote a thing, because that was, like, right after the video really blew up and went viral. And so I wrote a thing saying, basically, like, this is a terrible thing that have happened. I hold no ill will towards these people, and I hope she's okay. Well, what a strange thing to happen right after, after the video went viral. Like, she's on the internet and stuff. Now, I know that Dahmer, she says that that's her rationale. And right after she posted her smear video on me, which is titled My Legal Name, and then Pedophile, right? Hold on. So that's not a personal attack. That's just objective journalistic integrity, or reporting of just the objective facts. There's no editorializing or anything like that, or anything taken out of context. But that's no different really than the official journalist, quote unquote, in Ford County. But so once it's happened, and I've been gaslit like this before. I've been attacked before. Like I mentioned earlier, there was I tried to rent my parents' house. The thing is you're sort of in a situation where you're very pissed off at the situation and these people, because they're very obstinate and they just keep asserting themselves at you knowingly. So there was a very feminine man in East Hampton that lived below me that when I started really first questioning the Holocaust and looking into it, I made an offhand remark to him. We were just all alone because he was friends with the guy that I lived with. Like best friends, they both went to Hampshire College. I said, I said, like, I'm questioning the Holocaust. It's like, 6 million? Like, I don't even believe that number. So he just looked at me, he's like, fuck you. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't know. So, and then that's the point where that's the point when he put his hand on my shoulder and sort of marked me. After that, he attacked me. And then called the police and said to the police that I attacked him. So that was my first encounter with who I didn't realize at the time, but was a narcissist, because I didn't know what a narcissist. I thought it was just somebody that was in love with their own reflection. What I realize now is that I'm a magnet for narcissists. I would talk to people openly and honestly about what I was going through in my life, and this would attract to certain people. This is how I attracted my ex. She presented herself as like a tragic person that I needed to save. And then, I was in a moment in my life when I really wanted somebody, and she just told me everything that I wanted to hear. And she was also, in addition to that, she knew, she must have sensed just that I needed to save her, because I gave her advice endlessly. Endlessly, I would tell her. I told her what was going on in her life, like psychologically, and, her mother, abusive mother, all this kind of stuff. What she was, what I sort of thought was she was going through. I would talk to her, just like I would talk to her just about anybody who contacted me that I thought that I could trust because of a naivete. People on the internet, I thought I judged them accurately. But then they lie. I talked to a woman named Bree who lived in Michigan, and she told me that she was 48. My ex told me that she was 22. So I would just trust people, and I would spill my guts, just talk openly and candidly with these people, and then, but anyways, I'm getting off topic. So but what I didn't realize is that they were all just they were recording everything. Not actually like recording, like audio recording or video recording me or something like that. But I mean, screenshots. They were taking screenshots, but they were taking it, when I was going through the pregnancy thing with my ex. She had me convinced that she was pregnant, and all of a sudden, underage as well. So I was in a crisis. I was in a crisis mode, and then all of a sudden, this guy appeared who was going to help me. So I told him everything that I was going through so he could help me, mediate between me and her and problem solve and so on. And this guy was even friends with Bree, the 48-year-old who told me that she was my age and not married, but then all of a sudden was married. A liar. And this guy from Italy who I was sending and talking to about my situation, he was even flirting with my ex, and she back to him. And he told me about, all other types of stuff between himself and Bree, who, by the way, hated him. So this is the niche online culture where everybody knows each other and everybody's sharing information with each other, and their form of entertainment is this drama and to talk shit about others, and they're behind masks. I don't really use, I have Dillard Q Thurman. That's my my alias that I use. But but my real name is not too far, and now it's just out there. He also hated her, and was a fan of Dahmer. But he was also there when I was going through a thing with P. That's why he showed up again. So this is like a drama. This is somebody who feeds off of other people's, like an energy vampire. Who, when you're having, it almost seemed like he sensed it. And that's what these people, like when I was having a real problem, like a situation with my ex or whatever, usually with my ex, these people would just appear almost as if they sensed it in the force. It's like, hey, what's going on? And then I'm like, oh my gosh, like you just appeared at the exact time when I needed to talk to someone. Either Brie or Bruno, Lucas, whatever his name is, ventilated air supply from Italy. A drama fag who just engages in drama. And, now I don't talk to anybody. I used to talk to tons of these people, not tons, but like, 3 or 4 people I would rotate. And just because I thought I had to talk to somebody. I needed to get out of my head and problem solve, and that required a lot of words. And so I would talk just as I'm talking now to them. But I was really just giving them and feeding them information. And now, once my life implodes, once Dahmer came out with her smear video on me, which is totally just malicious in nature and personally motivated, they're nowhere to be found, or they contributed to it. These people just threw me under the bus as soon as it was convenient for them. Like Dahmer contacted Jacob to get dirt on me, and that friend of yours, that's like your close friend. Yeah, I'm putting together a smear piece on him to ruin his life. So then all of a sudden, Jacob can't be friends with me because that's the last straw. I told you that there was going to be a time. He just made up a reason why all of a sudden we weren't friends anymore, and he started ghosting me. It's just like, is that what mature, adult friends do? Like talk every day, then all of a sudden you drop off, and then all of a sudden you're a different person. You're using words that you never use, like narcissist, to describe me. And like also like, do you even know what a narcissist is, and how am I one? Please explain. So I just don't trust anybody anymore, and I have a 2-strike rule. Like once you show me who you are, I'm done. I don't know why I gave. I know why I gave. That's the other thing that Jacob was so pissed off at. He's I told you, to not go back with her. Otherwise, things are going to go bad. And of course they did. I didn't realize what she was, to the extent of, she was super sweet when, she needed me. She absolutely needed me, right? And she was pregnant. And, then she needed, I told her she had to get an abortion because of our inappropriate relationship. And then she went dark. And, suddenly she doesn't need the money because her ex-boyfriend just gave her $500, but she wouldn't talk to me that whole time. And, there's no pictures or any evidence of it. I know that she's lying because I've talked to her grandma since then, which she hates. So this is what part of it was that she wanted to isolate. She tried to taint my relationship with Jacob, who was really like my only friend at that time. And she contacted Brie. She harassed Brie, and I think she even called the cops on her, and told the cops that she was like abusing her children and everything. So Brie called me all pissed off. She was the innocent victim to. It's interesting how she knows how to play different people. Like with Bruno, she was like a disgusting, like a degenerate. She would she made the same jokes with me. The Alaskan pipeline. She would say the same jokes over again. It was just like, just gross kind of jokes. But, and like be just disgusting with Bruno, who, to the point where he hated her. And then with Dahmer, she was just like this innocent victim. That like, I don't even know how I got here. He's just been abusing me. He's so rapey. He's just a rapey old man. And it's just, so she feeds these different narratives. And the last one, I stopped pretty much talking to Jacob because he knew everything was bad. And I talked to him afterwards when everything blew up. After he actually came and picked me up out of jail. And she was being uncooperative for me to get back into my apartment. And he's like, this is just not a good scene, not a good situation. Like, you're either going to end up in the hospital or in jail. And true enough, like, I think, the next step, if it continued the relationship, I'd end up in the hospital, or she would have hurt herself and blamed it on me. She would even have me delete my text messages with her. But anyways, she wanted to be in my text messages. Meanwhile, she had 2 phones, and she would even be on Tinder, like right in front of me, looking for my replacement, because I started to just not be able to take anymore. But I couldn't just get her out. I wanted to get her a bus ticket and like have the cops come to the door, but I was already on bad terms with the cops because I had exposed their corruption, and so they had targeted me. The cops of that small town targeted me because I was uncovering their bullshit and not playing along with the with the whole thing. What, however, is really interesting is when I got the police report. And I saw not attractive to me whatsoever because of that reason. She doesn't fit, she's not, because also she was a teenager, and that was the big thing. That was the rumor going around, and Alyssa started boxing in my car to start a fight with me because she was going to get me arrested for having a teenager in my apartment. So then when the cops showed up and checked everybody's ID, and she wasn't underage, and by that time I knew her real age. Beforehand I didn't even know she had an ID, but then she showed it to me because I was going to kick her out. That's the thing, is that I just get fed up and I'm going to kick her out. And then because she can't stop behaving so badly, but she wasn't ready to leave yet. So then she made up with me and showed me her ID, and the jig was up, so she but the interesting thing is how but I was the defendant, but this is Massachusetts, and it's different in Illinois. In Illinois, you're just brought to jail by the police and then arraigned the next day. Again, in Massachusetts, when I was showing up to try to correct the order to correct from the Board of Health, because the house was in a state of incompletion, and that's how they got their grift. That's how they stayed for months for free. I had to show up and do repairs to the house. And I was doing that, and she would call the cops. She would find a reason to call the cops every single time to prevent me from doing that, and to start her abuse narrative case, to have a paper trail. But so once she thought that she did, she filed a restraining order against me to keep me from the house, so I couldn't even show up to do repairs. And the things that she cited were just absurd stuff. Like I was propping up nails on the stairs so her daughter would walk on them. Like really silly stuff like that. So Crystal Eagles, they were bad actor tenants, her and her mystery meat husband, Derek Eagles. But she's also just a very bad liar. Like, she showed up, big fat Crystal Eagle showed up in like a oversized Garfield shirt and some like sweatpants or something. And I when I go to court, I wear a tie and some slacks. You know, I dress up, I shave. And she told the magistrate, the female magistrate, like, he cleaned up nicely today, but usually he's very scary, very scary. And she was just obviously bullshitting. And I said, Your Honor, I am ordained. What did I say? I have a. What did I just said it too? From the Board of Health, I have an order to correct, and I have to show up to the apartment or the property to do these repairs to the house, and so the magistrate just threw it out, and then with the viral video, you know, the narrative. And the abusive landlord trying to get tenants to leave is just an easy script to exploit. That's just, you know, everyone does it. If I had done anything that they accused me of, or not even, they couldn't really accuse me of anything because they didn't have, besides, you know, just the proof that we wanted them the hell out of the house because we wanted them to buy it. And then when they refused to buy it, you know, they just ignored the fact that they agreed to it because I didn't have it in writing, because I just printed off a generic, lease agreement. But in Gibson City, you know, when you see like the narrative that they have, the accusation, it's like I came back from the laundromat knowing that Alyssa and Mary, even though they have their dog in the car, just got back from work. They would just get back from work at that exact time. For some reason, they brought their dog to work, right? I just knew that. So, and then I knew that they would react that way. Like, I knew that they would just go completely insane, like bad shit insane, start screaming and like being insane assholes. I knew that they were going to do that, and that's why I recorded it, right, Dahmer? You know, like, right, like cocks, right? Andrew Killian. Everybody knows that it's a lie. And, you know, never mind the fact that they're just completely uninjured in the video, and you don't just get up from getting your guts kicked in, as she claimed. But anyways, I've said that, like, so many times. But it's... So these people just make up a story about how you're just actually an evil person, and you keep it under wraps, you know. Or, like, if I have social anxiety about, like, the whole situation, then, you know... It's easier if you're sweating and you like are being gaslit, and it's just like, how do I explain everything that they've done, you know, and that they're lying and everything. It's just that some people are just they're comfortable in court because they pull shit like that all the time. Like, if I had done my research on Derek and Crystal Eagles, I would have known that they had done the same grift 2 times in the past. They couldn't even get a bank account because they owed $10,000 to their prior landlord that they're just never going to pay him. You know, and they just did the same thing with me. They just are serial squatters. So that's just what they're getting from me. They got a free house, and they're still living there, by the way. We have nothing to do with it anymore, and the town is trying to get us back involved, but it's just not working because we have a bankruptcy. Because we had no choice to go file for bankruptcy, and we got it. It's actually legally the property of the bank because we had a loan with the bank, and that was kind of the whole reason. That was the whole reason why we were selling it, renting it to sell. Not rent to sell, but renting it to somebody who expressed a intention to buy it at the end of the year or move out. But these people were bad actors, and they saw me coming from a mile away, and they knew exactly what they were doing, and I didn't. So, you know, I'm supposed to be this evil, abusive landlord that, like, you know, they're like fucking 300, 400-pound people. You know, why am I renting to such slob, you know, obvious retards anyways? But, you know, but I did, and I made a mistake. And the same thing with dating this girl. I made a mistake. she saw me coming from a mile away, basically. I gave her all the indication that I was just going to endlessly put up with her bullshit, and then in the end, she was not good. She never relented. She never apologized. She made up all this bullshit. It didn't matter. She was never pregnant. You know, and she started this whole smear campaign against me, and I still brought her back. She was like super sweet, innocent girl. You know, I thought she was super innocent, and you know, I like. And then she was just a broken person, and she just needed, you know, unconditional love and all this kind of stuff. And the same, I trusted Bruno. I told Bruno what I was going through at the time when I believed all this crap. And people just, they just turn on you as soon as it becomes convenient for you. And really, it's just, I'm just stupid. That's why I say things like, I manifested this. I brought this all into my life because I trust people, and you know, I'm stupid. And, you know, I did have a problem, actually. You know, I found people on dating apps. You know, I got involved with a girl prior to my ex, and I didn't abandon her, but I broke up with her too. But it seemed as though she really needed me. You know, she was in a bad place herself. She was living all alone, and had anxiety and this kind of stuff. But you know, I didn't think it would work out, so I got away. When I went down to see Dahmer, we talked extensively online and everything, and I always wondered about her, and I couldn't go forth with my ex, I thought, without trying with Dahmer. Like, I was going to miss out on her. But then the second night I was there, I thought that my ex was having an abortion, which she never was, and I'd never been through anything like that before. And besides that, I met Dahmer. I wasn't physically attracted to her. Okay, and she would talk about all this type of stuff that she now does with her, you know, her yoga boyfriend, about like making videos about, you know, this and that, and it's just like I didn't want to do that, and you know, I didn't want to lead her on, but I didn't want to lose her as her friend, and that's when I thought that she was, you know, I believed the mask about her too. I thought she was like a nice, sweet, innocent person, and I really did feel bad afterwards about what I had done to her. And I would check her Instagram, and then I saw that she was dressing like a clown and like calling people her sacrifices in the comments, and just like I was like, what the hell happened to Dahmer? The point that I keep sort of circling around, that I'm trying to arrive at, but instead I just keep rambling around it, is that I'm simultaneously a mastermind sociopath, you know, killer, or like a sociopath criminal, and an idiot, like a bumbling idiot. It's just like none of these instances I get anything out of. I have not benefited from any of this shit, but for some reason I'm just, you know, conveniently to blame. You know, I can point out exactly what everybody that has sort of attacked me and fed off me, what they get out of, like, you know, their attack on me. Sorry for the beep. Backing up. Like, Dahmer gets internet clout. She will say that she doesn't, you know, she can do better than me, but that's an indication that she doesn't understand what internet clout is. Internet clout is when you exploit an existing controversy to get a lot of attention. So that's what you did. So that's you know. So I have a video on this channel called Narcissistic Couple, the Narcissistic Couple, wherein I describe a couple that gets a narcissistic supply from outside of the relationship. And there is a sock account on there who I have a suspicion of it being Mr. Dahmer, the pathetic and unfunny person that Dahmer thinks that she can tear me down and add some, I don't know, gravitas or something to him, more points to him, so he can, you know, be better than me. I don't know that for a fact. And now I'm just rambling in that direction. But he keeps asserting that there's no such thing as a narcissistic couple, even though it's an established thing. And then he tries to redefine what narcissism is to mean just somebody that's in love with themselves. But no, pathological narcissism is a clinical diagnosis and anti-personal or anti-social breaks the law and, lacks compassion completely. But it's this assertion, and it's this gaslighting. This is another person who just loves to gaslight people, assert their accusation at you very snarkily, and then just try to trigger a rage react, or some kind of rage reaction, so as to indicate to them that you're mad at them and you can't do anything about them because they're passive aggressive, they're behind a computer. It's very feminine, very Jewish kind of behavior to engage in, but that's the type of people that these people are, and that's the type of behavior that's incentivized by the internet, I would say. So that's just what this is. That's just two people that are asserting an accusation at me, knowing that it's not true, just to piss me off for their supply. And they think that they're rock stars for it. When really, there's nothing. This is the most notable thing that you've ever done. And you feel good about it. You must have insulated yourself with toxic people just like you to reify your decision to be this person. And that's just fine. I was recovering from last year and all that had happened when Dahmer came out with her smear video. I was going to deactivate my Facebook. I had done so, before, after the video blew up and then settled down. I was just like, well, I accomplished everything that I wanted to accomplish. Basically, I was justified, or I was vindicated, rather. And, these people want to pull this shit, be so corrupt, and literally just ruin other people's lives as the normal course of their job. They didn't like that I exposed them. So, and then Dahmer comes along and she just aligns herself with them and just asserts, takes it from there and asserts, all her premises. And when the final call before she came out with her smear video, I don't know how many, the final call that I thought was just final. I was like, you know what? I don't want to date you. I don't want to be with you, and it's fine that you believe this stuff. Because my ex had poisoned it so completely that it was just, that's fine. She can, go. I tried to salvage the friendship and everything. And I felt, like I said, I felt bad about it. But now I just think that she's a despicable person that just is mean-spirited and cruel for the sake of internet clout. Could it be anything else? People, the people that enjoy this sort of thing, you're just enjoying drama. You're grabbing your popcorn while a person's life implodes. And you feel okay about it. And I'm going to come out, and when I say that it's lies, then all of a sudden I'm a pathological liar and I'm obsessed. And all this kind of stuff. It's I'm not squirming. I'm not, hiding or anything, because I know it's all bullshit. I know that courts are bullshit. The court in Franklin County, Massachusetts is still trying to get us on the hook because they don't want to get stuck with this house with these bad actor tenants because it's a tenant-friendly state. And they basically enabled them because my mom is a conservative and was on the select board and fought with the liberal government for the whole 30 years that we were there, and they have a vendetta against her for other reasons. And so it's just egos and personalities just doing character assassinations. When you do this sort of thing, you can add to it any sort of pseudo philosophical or lofty goal or excuse, justification as you want. It's like, oh, well, I just want people to know about him. I just want to expose him. And I also want to use him as an example as, this is what it's an antisocial weirdo that gets into, I don't know, stupid shit like that. No, it's just petty revenge. And you think you're clever for in-beforing it. You're just a despicable, petty, vindictive, ugly person. And anybody that follows you and enjoys this stuff, I've talked to some of them. I was expecting more of an attack, I guess. But some of them, I was just like, did you listen to my response? And they're like, no. So, there's people, mature adults that are spiritually, enlightened, they don't just sit and suck their own cock all day and talk about their boyfriend's hard 30-year-old penis as if like that's like what the path of spiritual. How many fucking IQ points have you dropped since I last talked? Like, this person is fucking stupid. These people are not clever. They're very stupid. When I talked to my ex, she didn't even remember half the stuff. And she's so petty that the first thing that she said was just that she's improving herself. And all she was mad at me for was talking to other women. And I'll admit that I had a problem, but I was ready to put in the effort and have a serious relationship, but she just wanted to fight me constantly. And it was a toxic relationship that isn't anybody's business, and it had ups and downs, and she had me going through a whole period of time when she had me believe like utter lies just to manipulate me and emotionally manipulate me. And it was emotional roller coaster. And I was getting over that. And then what happened? Dahmer saw that people were empathizing with me because of a video that went viral on the internet, and she saw two toxic cunts and said, that's like me. I'm the same as them. And my boyfriend, who is this soy jack faggot who sucks his own cock. Anyways, I don't want to. And she said that I can take this and I can make hay out of it. And I've just seen just more pathetic indicators that she's just pathetic, and the people on her site. Anyways, that's what it is. And I'll probably say something else. I think I might edit this because I didn't want to include stuff like that. But what made me think of this was the NJP blowing up and TRS blowing up. And those guys, they are like just mad at each other and like calling each other parasites and like degenerates, and it's just airing dirty laundry. And that's what I just don't understand. It's like, especially if you knew somebody, it's like even people that I know that have betrayed me or have done me wrong or whatever, I wouldn't go so far out of my way as to like try to ruin their life. Like, this kind of thing is like detestable. And there's no reason for it except for just that you think that it's a good idea to get all out of negative energy like this. And the type of people that enjoy this kind of thing, I've already said it, are really pathetic. But my goal, and I had been getting over a very difficult year before this happened, and I was just about there. And then I had to there was no way I couldn't respond to this kind of thing. And just the heavy-handed, the ham-fisted arrogance that Dahmer, did it with, like the air of authority. Like, she knows me so well, and she's certainly not, invested in lies and in a constructed monster character of me. I was getting over it, and last year and metabolizing all this stuff to understand it and get on with my life. And I'm just about there now too with this, and the goal is just to neutralize it. I don't want to back and forth. I don't want to think about this person. I don't want to think about her. Apparently, people that do this sort of thing thinks about that other person, their target, quite a bit, apparently. And my goal is to produce a lot, and I don't talk to anybody anymore. I don't really invite a lot of people into my life unless they're like really extremely vetted. And that's it. Thank you for listening to this 50-minute tirade. A lot of ranting, a lot of tangents, and I might edit it too. But other than that, I hope well to everybody, including my enemies. Sometimes you don't know someone is your enemy until they've declared you to be so. And it's just like, wait a minute. And that's just the naivete of not knowing that you're in a war. But we are in a war. And now I'm over 50 minutes, and I thank you for listening. And have a good 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024.